What's up, guys? Welcome back to Simply FPL. Surprise, surprise, it's time for another draft. There's not really a huge amount to do other than different drafts these days. So 19 days till the start of the season. I've actually done something a little different today. So every year in FPL, I always say I'm not going to take huge risks at the start of the season. And then I end up filling my team with 4 or 5 players who are not nailed on to play whatsoever. And then always panicking. And then on the first day of the season, there's usually 1 or 2 who don't play. And I actually, looking at my last few drafts, I actually think I might be walking into that same mistake. So what I've done, I've put together what I consider a safe start to the season. So a team that has got at least 12 players that are nailed on to play. They've got history of good returns. And what that'll allow me to do if I go with this team is have a look to see if the likes of Sancho or any of the newly promoted players, the likes of Tony, Pookie, etc., see if they hit the ground running before bringing them in, because the last thing I want to do, or generally want to do, is start the season with these lads and then they all fail to impress. I know a lot of lads had that issue with the likes of Werner and Havertz last year. So let's just get straight into the team and we'll kind of discuss each player and what their merits are. There's the blank team, and with the goalkeepers, so look, we're not actually changing from the last few videos, so we're still going to keep Sanchez. 10 clean sheets last season. He's I know they've signed a new keeper, but as far as I'm concerned, he's still their number 1. And we'll have Foster as a backup for reasons we've already discussed. So we won't go too much into the reasons for the keepers, but I don't see a reason to change those. I consider they're probably the definition of safe. Certainly up until when we use our first wild card. I am considering Henderson from United. I'm just making sure that he's definitely going to be their number 1. It does look like it, and then I'll see what my funds are like at the start of the season, but it'll probably be between him and Henderson. For this team that I put together today, I didn't have the extra 0.5 million to get Henderson in, so yeah, Sanchez in the sticks for now. The defense, so again, a few of these lads haven't changed from my last few teams. But for Fofana, he's nailed on to play, but he's 4.5 million. Probably going to be a big enabler now. I could have gone Lamptey, but I've said it in a few videos now. Doubling up on the Brighton defence with Sanchez and Lamptey, it's a bit riskier than taking Fofana. And to be honest, I'm probably going to play 3 defenders if I go for this team the majority of the week. So look, he's probably not going to get too many games. Looking at Robertson then, so look, it's obvious with him and Trent. Robertson, 3,384 minutes last season, got a goal, 8 assists and 10 clean sheets. And then Trent, a little less minutes, so 3,029. He was obviously a little bit more injury prone. 2 goals, 8 assists and 12 clean sheets. So look, the price is what they are. Now I'm going to keep an eye on Joe Gomez. He's 5 million. Now he doesn't offer much of an attacking threat, but like again, if I have to step down from a Robertson to Gomez, it might be worth doing. I want 3 Liverpool players at the start of the season. I've said that many times, but in this team, I can afford to actually put both the wing backs in. So that's what I've done. And then Stones. So look, only 1,933 minutes last season, but bear in mind, he wasn't playing at the start of the season. They're all back end of the season is when he got his minutes. So I'm assuming him and Diaz are going to start centre-back pairing, and there's probably not going to be a huge amount of pep roulette there. And even though he only played 1,933 minutes, he still got 4 goals and 14 clean sheets. So look, assuming he is the main centre-back, which I'm assuming he is at this stage, then for 5.5 million, that really is a bargain. Like I could see at some point at least doubling up on City defenders. But for now, we'll just go for the 1. And then Manquillo. So look, he's just bench fodder. You don't need 15 playing players. He'd be sat on the bench with Foster, never getting on the pitch. But if 1 week I have to play him, he did get 822 minutes last season. So not too many points from those. Obviously, Newcastle didn't keep too many clean sheets. But like if he ends up on the pitch, you're happy just to take 1 or 2 points. Like you're not really this sort of strategy. You're not thinking he's going to be on the pitch. But if he's on the pitch, you just want to get that 1 or 2 points, and that's all you can really expect from a £4 million defender most years. Looking at the midfield then, so look, Billy Gilmore. There's no real stats on Gilmore, I guess, but he's surely going to be playing week in, week out. But again, he's just bench fodder. Unless Norwich come out firing and he's involved in an attacking sense, like similar to how Gundogan was, like no one really expected him to get any goals or assists, but then all of a sudden out of nowhere he's involved in everything. Gilmore has that chance, But we'll just keep an eye on him. We're not expecting much from him, and he'll probably be sat on our bench. But he is, as far as I'm concerned, nailed on, so fairly safe there. Rafinha then, 2,358 minutes. We played the majority of the season now. He was subbed quite a lot. That's why his minutes are low. He was involved in most games. But 6 goals, 10 assists, £6.5 million in that midfield. He's got some serious potential this season at that price. I really thought he was going to come in at the £7.5, £8 million mark. So £6.5 million bargain. As far as I'm concerned, he's going to start the first game of the season against United. And then Barnes. So £7 million. I'm not sure he's underrated, because a lot of FPL players I've seen so far, the sort of teams you see floating about on Twitter, Barnes does crop up quite a bit. So it's not like he's an unknown, but for £7 million, if Leicester have the start of the season they've had the last 2 seasons and he remains injury free, he got almost 2,000 minutes last season despite being injured. 9 goals, 5 assists, and he looked like he could get a goal and assist pretty much every game, the games he was playing towards the middle of the season. So yeah, 7 million, I think he could be an enabler, but again, more importantly, he's guaranteed to play when he's fit, and that's what we're really trying to do here. We're not gambling on any players. Mo Salah, not a huge amount to be said about him. 3,077 minutes, Mr. Reliable, 22 goals, 6 assists. If in doubt, captain Salah. He's pretty much the only player in my team that he's guaranteed to be playing on day one. He's going to be my captain almost certainly. I'm not even considering a team without Mo Salah. I just don't see... He scores too many points in essence and it's one of those that, like, he very rarely goes on that long run like a Bruno Fernandes has gone on runs where against the big teams he doesn't show up. Mo Salah is just so consistent, so it's hard to not keep him, where you might consider not keeping a Bruno Fernandes, for instance. But yeah, he's going to be in my team for the majority of the season, and 12.5 million could have been 13 million. I was expecting a 13 million pound start for Mo Salah, so yeah, we'll take that cut price option. Son could have easily been 11 plus million. A bit overlooked by myself in my previous drafts. I've just not been able to afford to fit him in when I'm trying to fit in the likes of Fernandes, maybe a Sancho, a Harry Kane. But again, this team's really a safe team, and when I say a safe team, what I mean is we just want to get through the first 2 or 3 game weeks and then be able to rotate players out and in as we need, but make sure we don't have such a bad first week that we're playing catch-up for the rest of the season. And look, Son, 3,119 minutes, one of the first names on the team sheet for Tottenham, just signed that new contract, had a nice rest over the summer. He always performs in the big games. In the big games, Kane usually drops back and Son goes and plays up front for most of the time. Their first game's Man City at home, so I could easily see him getting some sort of attacking return there. 17 goals, 11 assists, absolute phenomenal last season. And yeah, maybe it's not right of people to not consider him. Like, maybe he should be a bit more spoken about for 10 million. He really should be one of the more expensive players in FPL. Up front, Ollie offside Watkins. I bet there's a few people that have been watching these videos for the last year a bit surprised that I've put Watkins in there. Despite my opinions on him as a player, I'm obviously not a fan. For people that are new to the channel, gave me nothing but heartbreak last season. He did play 3,328 minutes. So look, he the second most minutes in this team behind Robertson. And he also got 14 goals, 9 assists. Now, I appreciate a lot of those were at the start of the season. He did go on a terrible run for a while. But if Aston Villa can start the season well, like, he's going to be involved in the goals. Now, obviously, they've got Bundia. I'm terrible. I always get his name wrong. Hopefully going to be providing some sort of assist for him. There's a very good chance that 7.5 million is a bargain. Now, it's going to pay me to have him, but he is nailed on. And again, that's the point of this team. We pick the nailed on players and then eventually swap out the ones that aren't firing, bring guys in that are firing and are playing. Iheanacho, only 1,452 minutes last season, but he didn't play the start of the season. Like, he was the main man at the end of the season, and that's all we care about, right? Like, if he was playing pretty much every week at the end of the season, Vardy's not getting any younger. It's very likely that Iheanacho starts up front on day one. And 12 goals, 2 assists. His goal per minute ratio was one of the best in the league last season. I have a feeling that could continue this season. I mean, he's only going to get better. Finally, Antonio. So if he's fit, he seems to score every week. So 10 goals, 5 assists last season, 1,972 minutes. So look, his goal per minute's not quite as good as Iheanacho, but Iheanacho was running hot. Now, the only thing with Antonio is he going to avoid injuries? It's unlikely. But if he plays the first few games, again, we can always swap him out for a Tony or a Pukki. So, yeah, for day one of the season, I'd expect him to be playing. He's got a handy game against Newcastle. So, look, that's the 15 players. Now, if we had this team on day one, this is how we're going to set up. We'll go 4-3-3. Most weeks we probably play Rafinha. But realistically, we play Fofana against Wolves and drop Rafinha against Man United. And look at those fixtures. So apart from Son, who, again, against the big teams, he usually gets hauls. Apart from Son, we've got a fairly nice starting 11. So obviously Stones might struggle. He's obviously playing Son. But that should be a team with Captain Salah. That should be enough to get you through to week 2 in the top 1 million. You really want to aim for that top 1 million in the first week and then push on from there. Last thing you want to do, I remember Salah, did he get 20 points in the first game last season? I had him captain. I think he got me 40 points. Those that didn't have Salah are instantly 40 points behind. It's a horrible start trying to catch up that much. So, look, this is what I call a safe team. It's one that I'm actually really considering because my last 2 drafts, there's just so many risks in there. Most of the time in those risky drafts, you'll get 9, 10, maybe 11 of the players playing. But there is that small chance that 5 or 6 of them don't play, that maybe we completely misread what's really happening. And then your team is completely destroyed. You're using your wild card early, you're taking hits. Whereas this is a very, very solid team. Do drop in the comments what you think about that. And yeah, we might use this team as our basis moving forward and just make adjustments. Because look, I'm really liking this team now. So yeah, let me know what you think. Who's missing? Who shouldn't be in there? And yeah, the usual stuff. And yeah, I'll be back in a day or 2 with another video. Take it easy, guys.